What's going on, ChavezzSlovakia? We are back for more of the Tier Zoo. Should dinosaurs be unbanned? And following this is going to be a re-upload of the human Tier Zoo list, our humans OP, because that video was age restricted. So I'm removing that video so I don't have an age restricted video on my channel, and I'm re-uploading the video today. So that those will be probably at the same time. You'll probably see those at the same time. So comment that it's re-uploaded so everybody knows, but I'm just letting you know why it's re-uploaded, because of the age restriction. And I want that off my channel. So let's get it, man. Should dinosaurs be unbanned? And the next one we're doing is can you play as a dinosaur? Just kind of keep the dinosaur theme going because I love it. And let's get into it, man. Play.
This episode was sponsored by Skillshare.
Oh my god. What was that shit? It's gotta be an old game, but what the hell? He ate the fuck out this nigga. Wait. Oh. What?
One of the most controversial balance updates the devs have ever introduced was patch 1.3.1. The update which banned and nerfed the vast majority of dinosaurs, marine reptiles, and pterosaurs. And so it should come as no surprise that one of the requests that the devs get the most is to reintroduce dinosaurs back into the game. The devs have never unbanned any classes before, but what would the meta look like if the devs actually obliged and allowed players to spawn as dinosaurs again? Well, to answer that question, we first need to understand why dinosaurs were banned in the first place.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I was actually given the opportunity to ask one of the devs this very question. So a lot of people have been wondering, why were the dinosaurs banned?
You know, I get this question a lot because the dinosaur class was one of the most popular in the history of the game.
Why do they know each other? These people are amazing.
When you released the first extension pack.
Oh my god, my heart.
To be honest, the meta was just getting stale, especially with players opting to play larger and larger land carnivores like the T-Rex. Like one balance update, we tried to buff herbivores by putting 2 additional horns on the Uniceratops, but of course the T-Rex players just spec'd into higher attack. Then one time we even tried to nerf the rage ability of the T-Rex players by increasing the frequency they want to engage in sexual behavior, but then players thought it would be funny to shorten their arms. So eventually we figured it's not worth dealing with all these complications and we should just go for the hard reset, lower the oxygen levels to limit the size wars of different classes, and encourage more nuance.
I mean, it is fun.
And while we are seriously considering a dinosaur remaster due to popular demand, to be honest, even now, if you look at most character models, they're just shrunk down, reskinned dinosaurs we put fur on.
The kangaroo, bro, I love it.
Thanks so much.
Bro, Casually Explained was to fucking decide whether or not we get dinosaurs back. Just DM this man constantly at begging. Please bring them back. Please.
I really appreciate you taking the time to comment on this matter.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so what would it look like if dinosaurs were
So much love for
unbanned?
Casually Explained.
First, let's talk about dinosaurs in general. The dinosaur build's main advantage is its massive size. At fully grown, the only things that could take it down were other giant dinosaurs and potentially pack hunting builds. While size is an advantage on defense, it can't.
Hella an advantage. Are you kidding me? Those things are massive. Those will cause a problem for us now in today's world. Also, by the way, this is tea, not beer. It is black, unsweetened tea. Unsweetened. Sorry for that random interruption, but I just looked at it and remembered people kept saying it was beer. It's not, I promise.
Can be a challenge for overall survivability. Dinosaurs require a massive amount of food, potentially more than the current game could provide. And so if the devs were to unban dinosaurs, they'd likely also need to buff the spawn rates of pretty much everything. Your average dinosaur build also tends to be pretty modest when it comes to speed and intelligence, having speed comparable to an elephant and intelligence comparable to crocodiles.
Okay.
This means that most of the current top tiers will outspeed and outsmart them on a regular basis. Yoink. But this isn't the case for all dinosaurs, so let's get into the specifics now. Let's start with the herbivores.
Okay.
So I don't think hadrosaurs would be very viable at all, seeing as they have no good defensive abilities to protect themselves with. Their best trait is that they can communicate effectively and keep watch over each other. But the best hunters today rely on stealth, a strategy specifically meant to get around this problem. Hadrosaurs would be great at spotting tall carnivore players from far away, but not stealthy builds that stayed low to the ground and moved through the bush.
Oh, man.
Now you might be thinking, oh, that's no problem. The herbivores could just outrun them. But large herbivores had much lower mobility than today's top predator builds.
Are you serious?
They'd be most comparable to an elephant, like I said before. But where elephants lack in mobility, they make up for with intelligence. You can't say the same for dinosaurs. But not all herbivores would be in such a bad position. Hadrosaurs lack any form of weaponry, but other herbivores are much more well-armed. Triceratops is perhaps the most well-known armed herbivore, and it's easy to see why. At full speed, a Triceratops can one-shot even the tankiest of opponents. But with that said, the carnivore player base has gotten much better at dealing with front-facing weapons like horns and tusks.
Oh, did he duck his ass?
So Triceratops may find itself...
lion legit just ducked his ass. What the fuck? Check that shit out.
Front-facing weapons
Look at
like
him duck
horns
that
and
shit.
tusks.
He changed levels like immediately. That was fucking sick.
So Triceratops may find itself struggling to fend off attacks that come from behind or come from multiple angles.
Ooh.
Getting behind an opponent has become a staple trick of every carnivore's playbook, especially for canine and feline builds.
Wow.
Sauropods were at an interesting place in the meta back during the Mesozoic, and would definitely still be if they were brought back today. Their late game stats were simply impossible to beat one-on-one. No other land build has ever achieved even close to the same base stat total. Even the top predators of the time barely stood a chance, even in teams. Ooh. But they only reach this potential in the late game and have relatively few defensive options during early and mid game, aside from just relying on high-level teammates. This means that their teammates need to be able to stop an attack before it's too late. Because of their extreme height, predators would just about never be able to sneak up on a sauropod clan in an open field. But approaching using stealth isn't the only way to catch a vigilant opponent off guard. Hiding in trees is another option, one that's employed by some of the most powerful builds of present day.
I forgot about that shit.
Big cats tend to target the neck of their opponent.
Man, it is not looking good for the dinosaurs, bro.
And, well, it would be pretty hard to miss. Even the top-tier jaguar probably couldn't one-shot a high-level sauropod, but all of the arboreal big cats would definitely be a problem for juveniles. Potentially so problematic that not enough of them would be able to reach the late game to defend the lower-level players.
Right.
It's hard to say. Overall, they could be completely viable or completely helpless.
Yeah.
Not much in between.
It just depends on the location and the predators in those locations. And at that size, it'd be impossible to not be constantly roaming and attracting attention. So yeah, that probably.
In my opinion, the herbivore builds best suited to survive in the current meta would be the ones with tail weapons, specifically stegosaurs and ankylosaurs.
Yeah, ankylosaurs
As previously
are cool
mentioned,
too.
the top predator builds tend to attack from behind, avoiding a face-to-face confrontation, and staying out of range of being hit by counterattacks with horns, tusks, and bites. This strategy works great against the tanky herbivore classes of present day, but an attack from behind would be an awful idea against a build with a club or thagomizer. In addition, the armor on their back would make it much harder for assassin builds like big cats to land their critical strikes.
Just like shake them off.
Of all the herbivores, I find these to be the most likely to become top tier if they were unbanned. Now onto the carnivores.
Please,
So this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think large tyrannosaurs would fare well in the current meta. Tyrannosaurs are min-maxed to optimize for damage, which was great when their goal was to be able to bring down tanks with HP levels as high as the dinosaurs. The only build of present day that this would be important to have against would be the elephant.
Right.
And while that is important, having only one good matchup is not a top tier strategy.
Ooh.
All elephant players would need to do to counter this specific tactic is spec into slightly higher mobility, since the T-Rex's top speed is extremely low compared to builds of present day.
27
Smaller
miles an
Tyrannosaurs
hour.
like Albertosaurus and Daspletosaurus would still be viable though, since they haven't sacrificed as much mobility as the T-Rex has. Mobility really is the name of the game for predators right now. And it's the reason that I'd put Dromaeosaurs like Velociraptor and Deinonychus as the best contenders for being too OP for the current meta. And not just because of their excellent mobility, but also because they really wouldn't need to adjust much from their playstyle in the Cretaceous.
Yeah.
Raptor builds in the Cretaceous preyed mostly on small animals like prehistoric mammals, and occasionally banded together to take down midweight and heavyweight builds. This niche is still very much available today, and raptors would have little trouble in combat versus builds like possums, raccoons, and birds. This is the same role that the fox and coyote occupy right now. So the question then becomes, could raptors compete with them? In one-on-one combat, I do think raptors have the edge. While raptors do have lower HP than any canine, they also have
the battery died.
More burst damage potential. Canines use the persistence hunting strategy and need to land several attacks in order to bring down a target. Raptors, on the other hand, deal much higher damage because of their sickle claw that can potentially one-shot an enemy. Both employ team strats, and both have high mobility and intelligence. So all else being equal, the ability for raptors to outdamage the canines would, in my opinion, win them the day. So overall, if individual dinosaur builds were unbanned, the stegosaurs, ankylosaurs, and dromaeosaurs would most likely be top tier, while the others might end up struggling. Dinosaur players would need to learn a lot of new abilities to be able to contend with how advanced the meta is, especially when it comes to how OP humans are. Luckily, if you're looking to quickly and easily learn new skills, Skillshare has you covered.
Dude, hell yeah, bro. Like, the human OP thing, it's re-uploaded today, just reminder. Yeah, so just so you know, there's a, same thing. What am I talking about, yo? Help me out. Focus me up, ChavezzSlovakia. I'm confused. What are you talking about? The tier list is fucking busted. Dinosaurs would do that well, which is very surprising to me. The Jurassic Park movie actually taught us a lot because, you know, even though of course it's just for entertainment, I'm just saying in this aspect, it's like even a couple people were able to survive an entire island of dinosaurs just by using their smarts and learning on their feet and stuff like that. But god damn, it's kind of disappointing, man. It's kind of disappointing. Some of your favorite dinosaurs also might not be able to survive sickness, right? We have no way of knowing how they would survive the spread of disease and stuff like that that exists now that didn't exist before. And insect life is just prevalent as fuck. So that just might tear their asses up, but we'll see. Yeah, that was amazing. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, peace out, man.
Crocs, 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 Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. Wearing Crocs, boy. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. I'm rocking Crocs. Wearing Crocs, boy. My Crocs are gold. My pops is old. My Crocs got soul. My Crocs are bold. I go to church wearing Crocs. I'm always turned wearing Crocs. My Crocs are great. Your Crocs are lame. With my Crocs, I can cross a lake. Crocs, 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 Crocs.